Thank you.
Okay, perfect.
The meeting will come to order. First order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance, as always. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next order of business is celebrating success.
Katie Kissel. Katie has consistently gone above and beyond, taking exceptional care and pride in her work, and has led by example at the BB Bar and Grill. Katie took the unexpected initiative to bring in her personal leaf blower to tidy the entrance of the country club. She saw something that could be improved with extra effort and a little thinking outside of the box. That's just one example of Katie's work ethic and dedication to our POA members and their experience at our restaurant. That same week, she received the following comment. We had Katie as our server last week, and she was amazing. Great attention to customers and service. By creating an exceptional experience for our members and inspiring her colleagues through her positivity, Katie is an outstanding team member and is well deserving of this recognition.
Thank you. That's always a fun part of the meeting. Next up is the. Oh, we got more.
We do.
More fun.
We have another success to celebrate. Ray Pettit works in IT. Ray's years at the POA have provided him with endless knowledge around the processes and procedures that help to make the POA offices run as smoothly as possible. Ray has shown incredible patience, humility, and a bit of humor as he's worked closely with staff, particularly two new members of the POA's marketing department, myself and Hannah Barwick. We were both onboarded over the course of the last few months and have frequently turned to Ray for assistance on issues including, but certainly not limited to, IT, database, domain, and website. Your impressive technical knowledge and creative ideas have been very helpful as the team works to best reach the member database and compel members to vote in the upcoming assessment increase election. Ray's expertise and approachability will be key factors in the upcoming migration to a new system as well. We're appreciative of your positive attitude and your willingness to be flexible and work with us on timelines. Colleagues like Ray shouldn't go unrecognized. Thank you, Ray.
Thanks, Ray.
I was asking Ray how many celebrating successes he's won, and I think it's in the 4
months regular board meeting. Do I hear a motion to approve those minutes? Jason? Second?
Second.
By JB. Is there any discussion? I should mention that we have 2 members attending by Zoom tonight, so I will be looking for them to raise their hands. So raise your hands or say aye if you approve. Okay, that's unanimous. Next up is the work session from a week ago. Do I hear a motion to approve those minutes?
Make a motion
Michael?
to approve.
Jackie? Any discussion? All those in favor signify by raising your hand or saying aye. It's unanimous.
Next up are the Joint Advisory Committee reports. Tom, do you have all three of those?
I have two of them, and then Ruth Hatcher from the Golf Committee is here for that one. So I'm going to start
Okay.
with the Lakes Committee. Election of officers took place with Matt Champagne as chair, Errol Wasson as vice chair, and Carol Phillips as secretary. Lake and Sinkhole is filled in, and Lake is back up to full pool. We have sent out an update just recently that we're going to be doing some additional work, which will require the lake to come down again for another week. We're trying to get all the protrusions filled, but we are progressing along. Fly Tires Fishing Dock at Lake Windsor will be installed beginning July 25th if no delays are encountered. Construction of aquaculture ponds below Loch Lomond Dam have begun. Several POA members expressed concern about boats mooring in full-speed wake zones and are encouraging people to go into the coves to swim and float by boats. That was a report for the Lakes Committee. For the Rec Committee, they also had elections for the chairperson, which is going to be Deborah Lockett, vice chair Chris Stockman, and secretary Kathleen Coughlin. Committee suggestions for the upcoming budget: a look at tenured parking and trail accessibility, more youth programs, activities. We were all sold out this summer. Jones' priorities were the Reardon Playground and updating the pool houses at Kingsdale in potentially in 23, Metfield in 24, and that was it. Very efficient reports for both of those committees. Is Joan? Is Ruth here? There's Ruth.
Ms. Ruth?
I have the Golf Committee from the July 13th meeting. We did take election of officers off, so I was voted as chairperson, Jeff Henry elected as vice chair, and Mark Deal remains as secretary. The staff report, many measures are being taken to treat the fungus, but being 74 varieties, they won't get everyone each time. So it's going to take a while. Starting with the limitation of irrigation system due to the heat and drought condition. Sprinkler heads are being repaired due to the rocks and gravel from the floods in the spring, so hand watering is necessary. Please be aware of all the hand watering on the course and give them the right of way so that they can get out of your way as well. Golf operations for Darrell Muldoon, the June golf rounds. The rounds ended at 23,063, up 2,729 over last year, which is very good considering the situations. Year to date ended 72,417, down 987 over last year. Range buckets, people are hitting. To date, there are 28,863, up 14,016. June buckets, 7,553, up 531 buckets over last year. That's a lot of buckets. Pro Shop merchandise is 163% due to budget, and Leslie Terry is doing an incredible job of getting merchandise into the shops and promoting it and getting it out again. So she's doing very well. We thank her. Darryl wishes Tom Henderson, Get a Grip, a happy retirement after 14 years of service, and he's interviewing people for his replacement. The USGA has finished their ratings. The results will be back to Darryl in 2 weeks to start the review process. Temporary GIN system will start the update in about a month, and they're reviewing candidates for the golf staffing position. They're very short-staffed and ask golf community to please be patient. Texas, the tournaments with Alex. All in the Family was very full. Operation 36 is full. The kids love it. More interaction between the kids and the pros, so that's why the kids love it. June golf group 6 to 13 is doing great. July campus was also full. Incredible growth in junior golf. For instance, Gravett went to 3 golfers in the last couple of years to 36 simply by using the junior programs. Junior golf is exploding in all areas in all schools. General management, Tom Judson is busy everywhere, pools, restaurants, and lakes, also struggling with fine staff. Comments from the public. Karen Owens from the Golf Association wanted to express her appreciation to use the Golf Gin system, or Golf Genius, positive experience for everybody. She also had concerns of finding meeting rooms and club restaurants to fill their golf needs. New business, we discussed the budget recommendations for 2023, and we will finalize those plans in August. Our next meeting is August 10th at 4 o'clock. Questions? We had a busy month.
Thank you, Ruth.
You bet.
Next up, Chief Financial Officer Stacy Higgins.
All right, so we're going to talk a little bit about June. Great June and great first 6 months. I know we have a heavy schedule tonight, so I'm going to hit a couple high points that I want to share, and then the financials will be out on the website, and I'd be happy to answer. Again, another great month. If you look at the full picture year to date, we're over budget for revenue by $2.1 million, gross profit by 1.8, expenses by 561, we're better than budget, and our EBITDA is at 2.3 million better than budget. So overall, just an outstanding year so far. So the POA is next. Just a couple highlights. You can click. One big thing I'd like to point out, we are 6 months into the year. So if you look at all the areas that are contributing, big departments and little, it takes everyone. And for the first 6 months, we're at 2.2 million better than budget for EBITDA. And that's just some of the call outs for the different departments have helped contribute to that. So thanks to everybody. Expenses, no big call outs here. You can see our year-to-date actuals trending right along with our budget and our prior year, just kind of like we expected. A couple points on maintenance and repairs are up. Equipment and tools, year-to-date budget and actual are both, you can see the points there. A lot of that's timing and just time of the year. And the water department, very similar story to what we had on the POA side. You can see their revenues better than budget by 43, expenses are worse by 28, again timing, and EBITDA is worse than budget for June by 69, but EBITDA is better than budget for the year by 100,000. So you can see the revenue at the bottom and how it's trending compared to budget, and you can see their EBITDA as well at the bottom, and you can see that their actual EBITDA for 2022 is higher than for the year. Expenses, again, same story as for the POA. You can see how they're trending right along with budget. No big call outs there. Maintenance and repairs kind of spiked, but other than that, and again, that's just timing and the cost of supplies. From an expense standpoint or an EBITDA standpoint, these are by departments, and you can see that all the departments are better for EBITDA than food and beverage, but food and beverage and central admin. But if you combine food and beverage with clubhouse, they're meeting their EBITDA budget as well. And cash position, this is the one thing I'd like to call out and just spend a couple minutes on here is cash. So we're sitting right now at consolidated cash of 11.7 million. That does include the loan for the Reardon Hall building. POA is at 8.3, water's at 3. We have prepaid assessments still on the books of 1.6 million, and our POA reserves just topped 500,000 this month. So we're sitting in a really good cash position halfway through the year. And then this is the one pager that we always put out there that kind of summarizes everything. So you can see our water borrowing, our water credit we're at 2.2 million. We did talk a little bit about that, and I think we'll talk more about that next month because we'd like to make a larger payment on the water. We paid 50,000 this month, but I think we'll make a larger one probably in July if we continue to trend like we are. Questions?
Thank you, Stacy. Next up, is, in addition to the agenda, Tom has a couple words he'd like to say about the upcoming assessment vote.
I just wanted to, the vote for the assessment is going to be commencing August 10th. If you have not already attended a community meeting, we're going to have 3 community meetings at the beginning of August. Those are available on our website if you'd like additional information about the 3 for 3 assessment campaign. But we encourage everybody to vote. Your vote counts, and we'd like to make sure everybody gets out there and votes. That's it.
Thank you, Tom. You also can sign up to make phone calls. We have, in the open forum part of our meeting, we have a dozen people signed up to speak. I see that most of them have indicated they want to speak about their Razorback Greenway extension. First one on the list is John Nuttall, and as always, be reminded you have 3 minutes. You don't have to use 3 minutes. And if somebody before you says what you wanted to say, you can acknowledge that, and we'll move on to the next. John, go ahead.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I just wanted to tell the board that as a member of the biking community, this is a great opportunity for Bella Vista to expand our Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I just wanted to thank the board for this opportunity. I wanted to, as a member of the biking community, I wanted to tell the board what a great opportunity that this is for us to expand our reach. This will allow people that live in town to almost get from Metfield to Reardon Hall. They'll be able to get to where the Fat Tire new bike shop is, and the rest of the way they can go on the single track trail. But that first piece will be a 12-foot wide sidewalk the entire way. It brings us into a much better position to attract families and young people. I was at Reardon Hall the other day exercising as I watched a group of 10 young gentlemen, that the oldest one couldn't have been more than 12, show up on their bikes to go play mini golf. It was great to see that they could get around town and not have to ride on the streets. And I'll save the rest of my minutes for next time. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Next, Walter Watts.
Hi, good evening. Walter Watts. I wanted to speak to two subjects, two parts of this having to do with this proposal for these increased paths and trails. First, from a biking standpoint, a lot of us aren't trail bikers, more road bikers, and so these type of connections will be very useful for us to be able to access the various Razorback Greenway and the other trails. And the more of these done, are completed, the better it will be for us. Also, from a hiking standpoint, a lot of us, I'm part of two different groups, a weekend group and a more informal weekday group. And so the accessibility to the trails with these hard surface to larger lots and so forth, probably less congestion on some of the side streets where parking is an issue, will be very useful. So we definitely support it. Thank you.
Thank you, Walter. Next up is Susan Berry.
Good evening. I'm a little short for this microphone here, but I just want to say I'm totally in favor of this. I moved to Bella Vista, thank you, about 2.5 years ago. And I think driving through Bella Vista in a car is pretty. It's very nice. But when you actually get out and look at Bella Vista, it's beautiful. I mean, if you get out on the trails and you get out and you're able to get outside, look at the waterfalls, the woods, the beauty that we have here is just incredible, so I'm in favor of it.
And thank you. And I'll second that. There's a lot of scenery in Bella Vista you don't get to see if you stay on the roads. Next up, Michelle Shaw.
Hi, good evening. I'm also here to talk about the Greenway, the Razorback extension. Part of our local hiking group, the Mostly Hikers, we have over 750 followers on our Facebook site, and we post weekly all of our hikes that we do here in Bella Vista, so it gets a lot of attention on the Facebook site, and it's been a great camaraderie opportunity. You'll see many of us speaking tonight, so I am very much so in favor of expanding our trails and being able to showcase our lovely community.
Thank you. Next up is Aaron, 42 Belgravia. I'm sorry.
No worries. Last name is Fitzsimmons. How you doing? Good evening. Thanks for allowing me to speak. Yes, I'm also a recent arrival here to Bella Vista. I've only been here for about 8 or 9 months. And one of the things that did draw me here to the community was the accessibility of the trails and the abundance of the trails. So any augmentations or any increase to the amount of trails that we have is for me, very attractive, and I think that brings in a lot of people. This outdoor activities and and just to echo the natural beauty as well. So, definitely in favor of the Razorback Greenway expansion. Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron. Next up is Debbie from Binham. Not here. Tana Davis, 39 Lambeth.
Hey there, I'm another member. Hey, BJ. I recognize all these familiar faces. I'm another member of the hiking club, and I just want to express my support for these new hiking trails. that you guys are considering putting in. Love to hike. I'm out there every day with my dogs, and then I also hike with a group several times a week. So I am totally in favor of you guys supporting this. And I'd also like to add, I've been down to Bentonville hiking in Kohler Preserve, and that Airship Coffee House is the bomb. So that's what we want to bring here to Bella Vista, if we can find the funding at some point. So anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you. Next up, Fumika.
I'm short too. My name is Fumika Shino, and I've been living in Bella Vista since 2013, and I really enjoy the beautiful town right here. And I recently kind of semi-retired, and I was able to join the hiking club during the week, and I started joining the yoga at the beach. And also, so I enjoy hiking, and I also have 4 grandchildren in this area, and they're a little bit too young to walk on the trail. So if we can get the extended paved trail, and I can bring them and enjoy the time together.
Thank you. Next up, Jim Klinger from Basingham.
Good evening. Jim Klinger, and I'm a pretty avid biker, and I would like to just offer my support for the extension of the Greenway. You know, when you drive around Bella Vista, something that you may or may not notice is the lack of sidewalks. And for me as a road biker and a mountain biker, I'm not comfortable riding the roads too much in Bella Vista. Very twisty, turny roads. So having this extension as a community, I'm almost a little bit embarrassed to say, but I think I've played 1 round of golf in my life. So for me to live in Bella Vista and not golf, there's other things to do, and this would just add to that capability of us to be able to get out and really enjoy it. So really encourage it, and I hope if there's any questions that, boy, raise it to the group, because there's a bunch of folks who I know would love to see this extended. Thanks.
Thank you. Next up, Natasha Brand.
See if I'm tall enough, basically. I just want to echo what everybody else has said. I am a cyclist. I'm also a walker. I feel like I need to join this hiking club. I want to speak from my son's perspective. At present, that's a pretty sketchy ride down there, quite dangerous for him to get to the bike park. So to have a connection north would be amazing, and also across to the west. As a cyclist, I've now got an e-commute bike. I'm also biking down Trafalgar to join the Metfield connector, and the safety, I mean, that's just paramount getting across. So I think the Greenway Trails, from a perspective for the whole of Bella Vista population, is not just cyclists and walkers, but parents with strollers, families with wheelchairs. I mean, having the paved paths just makes this a benefit for everybody. So I echo what everyone else has said.
Thank you, Natasha. Next up is Kim Porter.
I'm going to echo a little bit of what the last speaker said. I have a little different perspective. I'm here on behalf of my son. Due to a stroke, he is unable to drive a car, but he is able to walk and ride a bike and to run. And this isn't just about recreation for him. This is about accessibility to things. This is about spending time with friends, and it's about being typical in his neighborhood and in his community. So voting for this gives him access to so many other things in his life. So I ask you to consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Christine Schaub.
All's been said.
Thank you. We're not done with the open forum yet. We have received. Oh, is there anybody else who did not sign in? Speak up, your name and the street you live on, please.
My name is Bryant Berry, and I live on Cromartie. I sit here and listen to this, and my family's hikers and people around and everything, but there's something missing in the excitement that says we've got something actually pretty unique here, and I don't hear any enthusiasm about it. The enthusiasm ought to be, look, there's a unique selling proposition in Bella Vista. What's that going to do to bring people in and make them happy with the kind of facilities we have and what goes on? It's using the resources we have, and I don't think that gets talked about enough. I think that's the thing that hits some of these people that come in and see it and wonder, oh my goodness, look at all of that. I think we'll just stay. Of course, if that person came from California, you'll know why. But at the same time, I enjoy very much seeing it. It's one of those things that that you can't get out and see possibly enough, but as you go around and you see it, it rubs off on you. And that makes other people talk about it to other people. So that enthusiasm really ought to be there when it's going on. I appreciate you considered it and handling it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That being said, we have a number of emails. Did you make any comments yet, or did you want to go through the emails?
So we're going to, Jessica and myself are going to go through the emails. Normally Jessica would do this herself, but we have a large quantity of them. A couple of years ago, we summarized some comments that looked very similar, and the board was unfortunately criticized for doing that summary. So we're going to go through these as quickly as possible, and we're going to trade off back and forth so we can catch a breath and
quick
drink
question:
some water.
is there any of them that are opposed, or ones that we can get a different perspective of? I think we've heard the positive perspective. I mean, just for the sake of time and what's going on, I don't mean not to support every email that's been said, but
Well, Mike, as Tom is explaining, a couple years ago, we had a situation where we had a large number of emails, and they basically all said the same thing. We did not read all those emails, although our policy says we would read those emails. We were properly criticized for not reading them, so I'm sorry, today we're going to read those emails, and as I've read them, you tried, and the ones that I have read, I haven't read the last ones that came in the last 2 or 3 minutes. And but we are going to err on the side of transparency and read the emails. Many of them are very short. I'm very thankful for the people who came here today for keeping their support short. We appreciate that, and we really do appreciate their support for our community. Tom, go ahead.
All right, I'm going to start. So this is from Bridget Ross. I am in favor of this extension. Also, Jessica went through and confirmed that all of these emails are from property owners.
From Cindy Thompson. Hi, I'm writing Hi, I am writing in support of expanding the Metfield Blowing Springs connector. My understanding is that it will connect from Blowing Springs to the new park being built at Barksdale West. I think that is a fantastic idea and will provide more safe walking / multi-use paths for BV residents.
This one is from Julie Grew. Yes, this note is in support of the bike path extensions and the connection to Reardon. This is very needed. This is a very needed thing.
From Dave Armstrong, dear board, first of all, thank you for your service to our community. As you prepare to vote on proposal to extend the Razorback Greenway from Mercy Bridge to the new park and trails currently under construction, please take into consideration the impact your decision will have on property values in Bella Vista. When you look at some of the metrics that are used to rank best places to live in the U.S., the only area that Bella Vista gets poor grades on are the lack of sidewalks in our neighborhoods. By extending this paved trail, we would enhance the ability of all of our citizens to further enjoy wonderful amenity provided by the POA. Our amazing amenities are one of the main reasons that we remain very high on the list I referenced. We live in a special time in the history of our village. Your vision for our future is vital to our growth and for the pure enjoyment of those of us who live here. I urge you to vote yes on this proposal.
Next one is from Chuck and Lori Sheridan. We moved here 2 months ago. One of the reasons was the trails. Please vote for Metford and Reardon Trails. Thanks. I think they got a little bit their specifics a little bit wrong, but.
Jody Barth, dear BV POA, I am currently traveling in New Zealand and cannot attend Thursday's board meeting, but this email is to affirm that I wholeheartedly support extending the Razorback Greenway through Bella Vista. The more trails, the better. I live at 20 Windsor Lane, Bella Vista, and have a rental property on 7 Abington Lane in Bella Vista. We own 3 unimproved lots as well.
Next one is from David Nelson. I read recently about this extension. I support its construction. Everything that increases connectivity between east and west Bella Vista gets my upvote.
This is from Scott Schaefer. I am unable to attend tonight's meeting, but wanted to express my support for the proposed trail connecting Blowing Springs to Reardon. I retired to Bella Vista last year because of the mountain biking trails. They are my fountain of youth. This extension will add a new and safe addition to the existing system.
Next one from David O'Neill. This is my comment on the extension of Blowing Springs to Metfield Connector. I am in favor of the connector. It will be a definite benefit to older individuals such as myself. He is 71 years old, in getting to many amenities in our community without having to drive.
Cody Ragland. Hello, my name is Cody Ragland. As a pastor in the community since 2016 and an avid mountain biker, I have watched how our community has grown substantially due to the biking opportunities, both through single track as well as greenway biking. I believe it has afforded our community great opportunities in many ways. As a POA member and member of this community, I believe extending the greenway up past Allen's to Casey's will only help our community continue to grow. It will provide opportunities for all ages to connect with both sides of the trails in a safe manner, along with providing more foot traffic to our local businesses, along with getting more people out on the bikes to ride the greenway. It is my recommendation that you vote yes to extend the greenway. Thank you in advance for your consideration extending the greenway.
Audrey O'Neill, I would like to express my strong support for the Greenway extension. I believe it will benefit the town and senior residents like myself. It will allow for an easier and safer way to get to various amenities. It will allow an excellent area for exercise and outdoor activities.
Anthony Benz, good day board members. I am emailing in support of the proposed Greenway expansion that will be discussed this evening at the board meeting. I unfortunately cannot attend, but wanted to concisely express my support for this project. Here are my reasons for support. Paved Greenway expansion further north delivers even more central access to this amazing infrastructure. As the marketing director of NWA real estate firm Caldwell Banker Harris is McCaney and Fawcett, trails and access are consistently requested from our buyers. Paved trails gain outdoor access to more intergenerational users. Although I am in support of dirt trails as well, paved options give younger children and older, less able individuals opportunities for safe recreation on pavement. I am a proud resident of Bella Vista, and we are so blessed to be in this amazing part of the nation. Thank you for opening your heart and ears to these proposals.
Devin Johnston, unable to attend in person due to recent surgery. You have my complete support for the proposal to extend the Metfield Blowing Springs behind the mall under 49 to west side to Fat Tire. My 18-year-old grandson who lives with me also supports this. Thank you for bringing this to its fruition.
Tim Keekler, I am unable to make this meeting but wish to express support as a POA member to increasing the amount of paved trails within BV. These trails will enhance our property values far into the future, particularly as golf continues to die out as a viable draw for new residents.
Julie Armstrong, please vote in favor of the paved trail extension. We desperately need more paved trails for walking and biking. Very important to those of us who want to stay active but don't do the rough mountain biking trails. Adding more paved trails would be wonderful.
Randy Bowers, I am sending this email to express my most adamant support of extending the Razorback Greenway. This amenity has been a favorite of my family and many friends who have visited us since moving here. It would be short-sighted and irresponsible to not only leave it as is, but to fail to maintain access to everyone in the village and beyond. Right now, it's not being maintained, which forces many, myself included, to find alternate routes that include riding my bike along a portion of Highway 71. This is unacceptable, placing many people at risk. Let's finish the job and prioritize this unique and highly important part of what makes BV special. Thank you.
Scott Sporov, I am unable to attend the meeting tomorrow for the Razorback Greenway extension, but would like to voice my complete support for this project. I am an avid biker in the area. I believe this extension will be utilized frequently and make safer access to the trails greenway. Please consider approval of this measure. Our community would be grateful.
Philip Nelson, Hi BV POA Board. As a BV property owner, 1 Sandhurst, I wanted to contribute my approval of the Greenway extension plans being discussed at tonight's meeting. Thank you. Greenway expansion benefits our entire community immensely.
Brent Steinspring, please vote in favor of approving the proposed extension of the Greenway Trail to extend across Little Sugar near Mercy Way to the new parking lot being built off of Reardon Road. This will provide a critical connecting segment for our trail network. It will also provide a profound connection between east-west Bella Vista and safely connect both sides to the Razorback Greenway and our southern communities. Thank you for your commitment to serve our wonderful community.
Steve Stovall, Razorback Greenway Connection. Please approve this extension for the BV community. Thank you.
Tim Kolker, I am unable to make the meeting but wish to express support as a POA member to increasing the amount of paved trails within BV. These trails will enhance our property values far into the future, particularly as golf continues to die out as a viable draw for new residents.
Extension of the Greenway from behind Allen's to the new Fat Tire location next to Casey's. More connections for people of all skills levels is crucial to the proper growth of this community.
Aaron Massingale, I'm writing to express my family's overwhelming support of the Greenway extension from Blowing Springs across the new Mercy Way Bridge behind Little Sugar Allen's, then across the closed holes on the Birksdale Golf Course to the neighborhood west. It's a rather lengthy email. I'm going to leave it at that.
Ron and Peggy Furman, we would like to send our support for the extension of the Blowing Springs Trail to Metfield Connector.
It's all you. I'm done.
Marcy Ledden, as a POA member, I support the proposed extension of the Greenway Trail from Blowing Springs access across Highway 71. This would be another great feature for our community. Mike Robinson, please record my support of this development, which I understand would eventually become an extension of the Razorback Greenway Trail up to Missouri. The trails initially met with some stout opposition by residents who feared degrading of their privacy behind their house. Those fears have not proven founded, and the expansion of bike trails here have been a boom to our economy. This development would be a wide paved trail like what we see now in Metfield, which has been wonderful for our east side residents. It should be coupled with even more recreational development of what used to be part of the Birksdale Golf Course, such as the bike training center discussed in the weekly Vista this week. Thank you for listening. Michael Graham, I am writing to voice my support for the proposed connector trail from Blowing Springs to the new park being built behind Casey's. This will greatly improve the already impressive trail system here in Bella Vista.
Thanks for your service. Denise Williamson, please vote yes for the extension. It will be a great asset to our community. Thank you. Mandy Neighbors, my family is all about the new bike trail connector. We hope you all approve it. Pam Keeling, in favor of Greenway connector. The end.
Okay, thank you. That didn't take so long, did it? Did it seem to you that Tom took the short ones and Jessica got the long ones?
Short stack, too.
I did too. Tom, did you have any comments to open forum?
No, we appreciate, the board appreciate, on behalf of the board, we appreciate everybody taking the time to send in their comments and make the effort to come in and voice their opinions in person. We really appreciate that.
I'll echo that. Sometimes we get the feeling that the membership is not paying attention to anything we do, but apparently that's not true. So thank you for voicing your support. The next item is a update on the behind us now Trafalgar Fire lawsuit. Doug, go ahead.
I'll say almost behind us, but yes, we have an agreement in principle, as we talked about last week, and as many of you have probably seen in the newspaper, which is very exciting. But the POA has been involved in the Trafalgar stump dump lawsuit for several years now, 156 plaintiffs and several defendants, and we're happy to announce that we have settled that lawsuit. We're still waiting on the settlement agreement, and we're going to finalize the details there. But as soon as we have that and are able to finish that up, we'll for sure have that behind us. And just as a reminder, the defendants that were involved and the amounts that they paid, Blue Mountain Storage ended up paying $500,000, Brown's Tree Service $1 million, the POA paid $1 million, and then the POA's insurance carrier, Philadelphia Insurance, paid up the remainder of the $6.3 million settlement. So that's kind of how the allocation of the funds went. But now the plaintiffs' attorneys get to work on divvying up all that money between the 156 plaintiffs. So any questions from the board?
No, just thank you, Doug, and I wish everybody in the community that had to go through this that they can find closure through this settlement, and hope that there will be no more future things like that. And I'm glad to report that our efforts with the previous stump dumps are not going to yield another effort like this again in the future. So thank you, Doug.
Appreciate the comments.
And now we come to the large item on the board, on the agenda for this evening, the proposed concrete walking and biking paths, 2 of them, one on the area we're calling Burkesdale South, and the other an extension from Metfield to the north. Tom, go ahead.
So if you attended or viewed the meeting from the work session, this is going to be somewhat redundant, but we wanted to give everybody a little bit of an overview regarding the trails in Bella Vista. 4 trail systems, Blowing Springs Mountain Biking Trail, which opened in 2008, the Back 40, which opened in 2016, Little Sugar in 2020, and the Blowing Springs Greenway, or the connector between Blowing Springs and Metfield Park in 21. And so here are the map on the right hand side. You can see that trail, 6 miles worth of trails, which is very popular and heavily used, was originally created in 2008. So it goes quite a ways, a number of years back. The Back 40 was opened up in 2016, 40 miles. They did all 40 miles in 9 months, and the trail counts are between 20 and 24,000 uses per month. Little Sugar, 50 miles in the central portion of our community, 8 pedestrian tunnels, by and large available to be used year-round. The Blowing Springs Connector, this is one of the newest ones, and it opened up in 2020. This is where the gear garden is located. It goes by camping and the cabins. So we've been able to monetize this trail, and it gets an amazing 8,000 uses per month, which is really impressive. Here's a brief update of some projects that were approved by the board back in '21. Holy cow, I don't know what button I hit. The first one is Flow Ride, which is on the far east side. That has been completed. That was an improvement where the Trailblazers went back in and made improvements to this trail system, an existing trail area. This is Rillington, but it's actually the Rillington was the working title. It's been renamed as Snowbird. It's a 1.5 mile adaptive trail. Completed in May of this year. They're still working on 2 parking lots, but it's a really nice trail. Next one is Birksdale West. That's the working title once again, and it's been renamed as Bluebird, the trail. It's going to be a flat 1/2 mile trail. This is going to be behind Casey's. My wife and I actually walked around this over the weekend, and they're doing an outstanding job. They're going to have a playground there and a nice pavilion, so it'll be a nice family area right next to the stream. Another project is the Manchester Tunnel and Trail, and that's still in planning phases. The tunnel is going to take just a little bit longer to construct, so it'll take a little while, but they're working on it. So here are the 2 trails that are under consideration. So we talked about the connection of Blowing Springs to Metfield, and this would go further north. So if you, let's look on the bottom left, you see where Metfield Park is. You would go west on Commonwealth, and then you would immediately head north on Trafalgar for quite a ways. You'll see it actually terminates at Goldsby, and that's because the hill at that point goes down very rapidly. And this hits a ton of rooftops, 344 rooftops within a 1/4 mile and 426 within a 1/2 mile of the trail. So very, very impressive. Once again, this is the trail. This would be an extension of the trail that gets 8,000 uses per month. And then this is the Razorback Greenway extension. So on the bottom of the map on the right-hand side, you'll see where Mercy Way is being worked on. They're going to have a dedicated bike path going over that bridge. This would then head north. Notice how the trail is going to be